In the headlines, humanitarian crisis worsens in Niger State as IDPs troop to state capital. Security presence boosts travelers' confidence on Abuja-Kaduna highway. Sharia Court in Zamfara sentences 3 women to prison for desecrating the Holy Quran. And on the foreign scene, Saudi Arabia has increased number of Hajj pilgrims this year to 1 million, compared with only a few thousand local pilgrims over the past 2 years. Hello and welcome to Trust News Update. I'm Darshan Hussaina Usman. Now the news in detail. The continued onslaught by bandits against farming communities in Niger State has displaced thousands of people who have relocated to other parts of the state, particularly Mina, the state capital. The relocation is to enable look for more secure places as their places of abode have become too volatile for human habitation. The report.
In these communities that are predominantly agrarian, the situation has continued to worsen as more people troop into the city to seek refuge from rampaging bandits. While the state government and other stakeholders appear to be overwhelmed, affected communities continue to look up to the government to enable them return home.
We want to go and dig hole to find what to eat. We want government's assistance.
Presently, the IDPs, mostly women and children, are staying in uncompleted buildings, while others are putting up at low-cost apartments in Meitumbi, Nkangwe, Boso, Mekunkunle, Ngwan Kadara, among others, to make ends meet. Some of them have taken to mining gold.
What is disturbing is that we cannot access our farms. Before we used to go and return, but now we can no longer do so.
Abdullahi Arena is one of the landlords accommodating some of the IDPs.
Whatever God plans will come to pass, but we are appealing to government to assist us. At least I have few people I take care of here. Whatever assistance government can give us, let them give us so that the people can return to their homes.
Abuja-Kaduna highway is recording increased traffic as it is the only alternative route for passengers since the shutting down of train services. Terrorists on Monday, March 28th, attacked a Kaduna-bound train, killing 8, injuring and abducting many. Mohammed Yaba monitors movement along the highway and now reports.
Right now, I'm standing at Rijana village along Kaduna-Abuja highway. Rijana village is one of the flashpoint area along the dangerous highway. But we can see today, Friday, a lot of travelers are applying the road following the massive deployment of security agencies. Because right from Akilibu up to Olam Farm area, up to Sabangayan, we understand there was a massive security deployment, and also I observed the presence of checkpoints in some of the strategic areas along the highway. I also saw helicopter surveillance, carrying out a surveillance along the highway to boost confidence to most of the motorists that are applying the route.
Despite the public outcry on the insecurity, there's still no remedy over the
But do you have any special appeal? Because we understand that
the appeal I have now, the federal government have ordered for Tucano aircraft. These peoples can be conquered within 24 hours. As far as the Quench Metesini have been a riot in Kano. And that is how I want.
Federal High Court Abuja on Friday struck out 8 of the 15 terrorism and felony charges preferred by the federal government against the detained leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, Nnamdi Kanu. Justice Nyako, while ruling on a preliminary objection filed by the IPOB leader, strikes out the charges. Madia Umar has details.
While the trial was ongoing at the Federal High Court in Abuja, there were heavy security presence around the court premises. This is according to the new directive from the federal government that all terrorism-related offences is to henceforth be conducted in camera. Trial Justice Binta Nyako adjourned to rule on the application after she heard arguments from both Kanu's lawyer, Michael Zokome, and the prosecution counsel, Shuaibu Labaran. Zokome argued that his client was entitled to bail, considering that he still enjoys the presumption of innocence under the 1999 Constitution as amended.
Counts 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8, and 15. Those are the ones that are remaining. The other ones were quashed. 6, 7, 8, 9. So we then proceeded to move our bail application that the defendant, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, deserves to be granted bail.
Federal government's lawyer Labaran urged the court to decline the bail request.
And arguments were proffered, and it was also in their argument that Nnamdi Kanu had never flouted any of the conditions of the bail. And we have argued vehemently, showing to the world, showing to the court that he has actually flouted all the bail conditions. And that was the reason why the court has ordered for his revoked his bail and ordered for his arrest.
Well, as it stands, the 18th of May 2022 has been set aside for the ruling of his bail application. And in the same month, on the 26th of May 2022, the continuation of his trial will continue, but at a venue that will be communicated at a later date. Martia Umar, Trust TV News, Abuja.
Economic activities in the southeast were crippled on Friday following a sit-at-home order by the pro-Biafra agitators group IPOB. The order by the group was to draw support for the IPOB leader whose court case came up for hearing on Friday, 8th of April 2022. A visit to major streets within Owerri, the Imo state capital, revealed that there was total compliance to the sit-at-home call by IPOB. Some respondents who spoke to newsmen said they stayed at home for their safety while expressing bitterness over the continuous detention of Nnamdi Kanu.
Nnamdi Kanu is going to court, and we are advised to stay on in solidarity for his freedom, because we know that we all want freedom, and we don't expect any other thing than freedom. We want him to be released. So we are observing the sit-at-home in regards of we are respecting him. That is why we are sitting at home. We are respecting the court that he's going for today, so that's why we are staying at home.
It's obvious we all in the East know the current situation of things now, so we all know what's going on, so nobody really wants to get hot outside there. So we all decided to stay home, not because of the sit at home, but because of the insecurities out there today. So that's the main reason why I'm home today. It's not because of the lockdown or anything.
Number one, my reasons is to have my life, because the issue of insecurity in the country is quite alarming. First of all, who is alive is the only person who can work. That's my main reason of staying at home. The other reason is because of the agitation from the people of Southeast.
And this will continue to happen like this every time. We will continue to observe sit at home like this until he is released. To every freedom that must be sacrificed. It's a little sacrifice, but we have to bear it.
To say what we are losing, we've been losing things since this agitation started. We've been losing so many things. Lives have been lost. Treasures, business are shut down, so we don't even have anything to lose if we sit at home today and save our lives. You understand? So sitting at home today, we don't even lose much. It's just the
Staff of Inex cleaners on Wednesday called on state government to retain them after the contract between the government and their employer expires. They made the call during a peaceful protest to the government house in Gombe State. Ibrahim Ismail reports.
The peaceful protest was expected as they were already in the know that the state government has terminated the contract with their employer, left with little or no option of avoiding joblessness. This seems the best way to get government's attention to their plight as they speak to Trust TV. We are doing our work. We just saw new workers who came through job racketeering. We heard that the government will return us with a good pay, 15,000 naira monthly. However, we are being replaced with new workers.
All of us, we are working in this company, and then they replace someone in our works. That is why the thing is they pay us. We come here to our governor to help us, to take us, bring us the justice in our works.
The state government, through the Gombe State Environmental Protection Agency GOSEFA, said the state government terminated its contract with Inex due to the high cost of operation. The general manager of the agency, Muhammad Kumo, called on the protesters to be patient as plans are underway to retain their employment when it signs a new contract with another company.
GOSEFA here, we are engaging 1,000. Those ones that engage in cleaning the drainages. The Cosmopolitan are engaging about 520. That's 1,520. Then the Bapton Green are engaging about 874. Tonight, even 900. That's what we are planning to engage. And their number is, I think, is about 3,100. But we will, inshallah, do our best to see that we have achieved our desired goals, inshallah.
From Gombe, Ibrahim Ismail, reporting for Trust TV.
You're watching Trust News Update. Coming up after the break. Secrets of Jigawa edible fruit. Do stay with us.
As the 2023 elections draw near, remember, evil prospers when good men and women only wish for peace, but never take a step to make peaceful elections happen. Are you a father? Are you a mother? What are you saying to your children as elections approach? Have you warned them not to let themselves be used to cause violence? Have you explained to them what the consequences of electoral violence might be? Do your part to make peaceful elections happen. Talk to your children. Protect them from unscrupulous politicians who want to put them in harm's way, while their own children are comfortable at home, within and outside the country. Let's join hands to make 2023 elections peaceful. This message is from the National.
Welcome back. You're still watching Trust News Update. Let's take a look at some of our top stories. We told you that humanitarian crisis worsens in Niger State as IDPs troop to state capital after continued onslaught by bandits against farming communities. We also heard that Abuja-Kaduna highway is recording increased traffic as it is the only alternative route for passengers since the shutting down of train services. Moving on to more news, the Zamfara state government has inaugurated the Health Influencers, Promoters and Community Management Strategy CHIPS. The project, according to the state government, is to take healthcare services to the doorstep of rural dwellers. The report.
The Community Health Influencers and Promoters CHIPS project is an initiative of the Primary Healthcare Development Board and the Executive Secretary, Dr. Ismail Tukur. The State Deputy Governor, Hassan Nasiha, who inaugurated the project on behalf of Governor Bello Mohammed, described the initiative as a major milestone in his administration healthcare efforts. He said the project also underscores government's commitment to increase access to healthcare for women and children from birth to 11 months, especially those in rural and hard-to-reach areas in the state.
This remarkable event is a major milestone in our healthcare delivery effort and demonstrates our administration commitment to increasing access to healthcare to women and children, particularly those in rural and hard-to-reach areas of the state. It is our desire to focus more on the people living in the rural areas and the population of our society, such as pregnant women and children from birth to 11 months of age.
The State Commissioner for Health, Abubakar Aliyu, noted that primary health care is the cornerstone of state health policy, adding that it is central to the attainment of universal health coverage and the Sustainable Development Goal 3. The launch climaxed at a call on the 14 local government sole administrators in Zamfara State to see the health project as a call to make healthcare services a vital part of their agenda.
A sweet edible fruit locally called dabino, also called dates, is the most sought after during Ramadan fast. Dates have a long history of cultivation across Asia and African continents because of its social, religious, and economic relevance. In Nigeria, date palms are cultivated in some northern cities, with Jigawa State as home to the largest number of producers. In this special report, Trust TV Northwest correspondent Idris Jibrin reports that date business is still thriving in the state. The report.
Date fruit farming in Jigawa State is said to have been introduced during the trans-Saharan trade, when some Arabian merchants brought it with them and later embraced by the people due to the suitability of the land.
Date palm was introduced into the country during the trans-Saharan trade. That means when there was a link, a direct trade between the all northern people and the people from the Arabian Peninsula, and also through pilgrimage. That is our people that used to go for Hajj. You know, during that time there was no plane, no cars, no anything. They used to use camels and horses to go. So as they go along the way, they brought in it as a souvenir.
Today, date cultivation and production is a multi-billion naira agricultural activities in Jigawa State. Abdulkadir Abdullahi, like many other farmers, have been maintaining their date palm for over 20 years, which also remains their primary source of income.
You have gone around the date palm and you have seen how great it is, which if you plant it now, within the next 3 years, you will start benefiting from it till the end of time. Date farming is our mainstay. It is helping us to sustain our lives, take care of our family, and even boost the state internally generated revenue. So you can see how important it is for us to keep sustaining it.
The fast expansion in the cultivation of date palm trees in the state reduces importation of dates from other neighboring countries like Niger Republic. This popular dates market in Shuarun tells a story of how traders flocked here to trade on daily basis.
Date palm, with all its economic importance, with all its potentials in generating revenue for the farmer and for the local populace, it has not been given the due attention that it was supposed to be given.
Despite the success story of date farming, farmers believe that if the federal government is to include them on the Anchor Borrowers Program, Jigawa State alone can produce over 70% of the required date fruits in Nigeria. Idris Jibrin, Trust TV News, Kano.
An upper Sharia court in Gusau, Zamfara State has sentenced 3 women to 5 years and 6 months imprisonment for desecration of the Holy Quran. Presiding Qadi Garba Gusau said the judgment is based on evidence and witnesses presented before the court, as well as the inability of the accused persons and their counsel to produce witnesses to disprove charges leveled against them. Gusau said the offense of the 3 women, Rabi Bello, Hazira Bello, and Hafsatu Isa, is punishable under sections 122, 123, and 287 of the Zamfara State Sharia Penal Code. Counsel to the accused persons, Jamila Ashafa, expressed dissatisfaction with the judgment, saying it is contrary to the Islamic legal system, as the 5 male witnesses presented before the Sharia Court are not sufficient to pass judgment. In 2019, the women were accused of dropping manuscript of Holy Quran in toilets and refuse dumps for ritual purpose. The United Nations Children Fund on Friday warned that Nigeria faces a learning crisis. This, the fund says, is taking place even for children that are in schools. At the media dialogue on foundational literacy and numeracy in Kano on Friday, UNICEF communications specialist Geoffrey Njoku said unless Nigeria pays adequate attention to children's rights and ensure quality education for them, the country is unlikely to meet the Sustainable Development Goals 2030. Hamid Oyigbade files this report.
The World Bank says Nigeria is experiencing a learning poverty in which 70% of 10 years olds in the country cannot understand a simple sentence or perform basic numeracy tasks. This at once threatens the future of the nation. Journalists drawn from different parts of the country converged in Kano for the media dialogue organized by UNICEF to build their capacity on issues around children's rights, particularly on education. UNICEF communication specialist Dr. Geoffrey Njoku said it will be a double jeopardy for Nigeria that the nation has a huge number of out-of-school children while those in school are not learning.
The point we are trying to make is that children are not learning. Before we were talking about, even today, we talk about 10.5 million Nigerian children not being in school. But now the big issue is that those who are actually in school are not learning. 70% of them are not learning. 70% do not know what they should know at the age of 10. So we're trying to call attention on that fact.
A lecturer at the Department of Mass Communication, Enugu State University of Science and Technology, Dr. Chidiebere Ezinwa, in his presentation said education is a right of children, not a privilege. He urged the media to raise awareness on children's rights, especially as it concerns education.
With respect to the situation on ground in the education sector, we are running into a crisis situation because with the increasing number of our children out of school, running into millions, and 70% of those in school not learning anything, it's obvious that the country is endangered. It's endangered in the sense that in the nearest future, we will lack people with the relevant skills to move the society forward.
And finally, on the foreign scene, Saudi Arabia has said it will allow 1 million people from both inside and outside the kingdom to perform the Hajj this year, compared with only a few thousand local pilgrims over the past 2 years. The kingdom's Ministry of Hajj and Umrah said the annual Muslim pilgrimage to Mecca, Islam's holiest site, would only be allowed for people who have been fully vaccinated against COVID-19 and are under the age of 65. The ministry, in a statement on Saturday, said it is committed to preserve the safety and security of Hajj pilgrims as well as visitors to the Prophet's Mosque, while ensuring that the maximum number of Muslims worldwide can perform Hajj and visit the Prophet's Mosque in a safe and spiritual atmosphere. Pilgrims traveling from abroad will also need to have a negative PCR test taken not more than 72 hours before their departure for Saudi Arabia, while health precautions will be in place in Mecca to curb the spread of the coronavirus. And with that, we've come to the end of Trust News Update. Don't forget to follow us across all our social media platforms. I'm Darshan Husseina Usman. Thanks for watching.